Major news in the English voice acting space has broke. As you can see here, Culture Crave says, SAG-AFTRA has signed a deal for AI use in video games, and a quote, "This is an evolutionary step forward," leaving many people commenting things like this. So what the heck was the strike for then? And other comments such as, "The only thing worse than my job being replaced by AI is my job being replaced by AI that objectively sounds terrible and cheap," as well as a SAG-AFTRA member, I didn't approve this message. Now, personally for me, I'm not surprised by this development at all. If you saw my prior segments talking about this union stuff, you might recall how I criticized many unions for being ineffective and filled with corruption. To put it simply, if people are already dealing with a corrupt corporation, it seems unwise to add a corrupt union on top of that. Furthermore, if people need to bargain together, they can literally do that without a union. Of course, it's a bit easier said than done, but sometimes taking that road is what it takes to achieve a better outcome. And now we see many voice actors upset with the SAG-AFTRA labor union. For example, Steve Blum here responding to the news, saying, "Excuse me, with all due respect, you state in the article, quote, approved by affected members of the union's voiceover performer community, unquote. Nobody in our community approved this that I know of. Games are the bulk of my livelihood and have been for years. Who are you referring to?" And by the way, those responses are to this tweet from SAG-AFTRA News. In the tweet that reads here, SAG-AFTRA and Replica Studios introduced groundbreaking AI voice agreement at CES. Back to some of the responses. Koi Dao saying, "Did your wife leave you for a voice actor? What is going on here?" And Kellen Goff saying, "All voice actors in favor of cutting off this useless, out-of-touch, corrupt jailer of a union in favor of making our own union, say I." Now let's hop over to SAGAFTRA.org and see specifically what they have to say. Replica Studios, Replica, an artificial intelligence AI voice technology company, and SAG-AFTRA announced today the introduction of a groundbreaking AI voice agreement during an event at CES. This new agreement paves the way for professional voice-over artists to safely explore new employment opportunities for their digital voice replicas with industry-leading protections tailored to AI technology, allowing AAA video game studios and other companies working with Replica to access top SAG-AFTRA talent. The agreement between the leading AI voice company and the world's largest performers union will enable Replica to engage SAG-AFTRA members under a fair, ethical agreement to safely create and license a digital replica of their voice. Licensed voices can be used in video game development and other interactive media projects from pre-production to final release. Approved by affected members of the union's voiceover performer community, this contract marks an important step towards the ethical use of AI voices in creative projects by game developers, and sets the basis for fair and equitable employment of voice actors as they explore the new revenue opportunities provided by AI. In addition to establishing minimum terms and conditions, the agreement ensures performer consent and negotiation for uses of their digital voice double and requires that performers have the opportunity to opt out of its continued use in new works. And then we have this quote, "Artificial intelligence has dominated the headlines, and for most performers, the best protection against the unauthorized digital simulation of their voice, likeness, and/or performance is a SAG-AFTRA contract. We are so happy to partner with Replica Studios because this is a great example of AI being done right," said SAG-AFTRA President Fran Drescher. The quotes continue. "Recent developments in AI technology have underscored the importance of protecting the rights of voice talent, particularly as game studios explore more efficient ways to create their games," said SAG-AFTRA National Executive Director and Chief Negotiator Duncan Crabtree Ireland. "With this agreement, we have achieved fully informed consent and fair compensation when it comes to the use of our members' voices and performances. We are proud to work with Replica in leading the way to make it easy for these companies to access SAG-AFTRA's world-renowned talent in an ethical manner and ensures consent and fair compensation for their contributions. This agreement also paves the way for other companies to follow their lead. Replica is proud to partner with SAG-AFTRA to introduce an ethical approach to the emerging use of generative AI. We are excited by the new opportunities this opens for world-leading AAA studios who can now access the benefits of Replica's AI voice technology while knowing that talent is recognized and compensated fairly for the use of their likeness," said Shreyas Nivas, CEO of Replica Studios. Our voice actor agreements ensure that game developers using our platform are only accessing licensed talent who have given permission for their voice to be used as a training dataset, as opposed to the wild west of AI platforms using unethical data scraping methods to replicate and synthesize voices without permission. GameSpot.com also wrote about this, saying, Actors Union SAG-AFTRA, which also represents voice actors and mocap performers in the games industry, has announced a groundbreaking agreement with AI voice studio Replica Studios, and many voice actors are not happy. Many of the industry's top talent have come out to state they weren't consulted on the deal and don't know anyone was. No one asked me about this. No one reached out for my opinion, said Elias T., the voice of Adam Jensen in the Deus Ex series. From what I'm seeing, no one asked any of my peers either. Steve Blum replied to SAG-AFTRA's tweet to add, Nobody in our community approved this that I know of. Games are the bulk of my livelihood and have been for years. Who are you referring to? Replica Studios tweeted the news on its own account, inviting people to ask questions about its process. We can't wait to show you what's possible here for consent, contracts, and compensation, the company said of its processes. We're not only concerned with those 3 C's, but also keen to make creativity and narrative storytelling more immersive and engaging to benefit the voice talent, the game studio, and the consumer. SAG-AFTRA has been negotiating on behalf of video game voice actors and mocap actors in the past year on similar issues to those faced by TV and film actors, including wage growth, workplace safety, and the use of AI. A strike was authorized last September in case a suitable deal could not be struck, but so far this strike has not begun. The deal with Replica Studios appears to be mostly unrelated to these negotiations, as was announced as part of CES event this week, but people have been quick to call out the union for authorizing AI voice actors when AI was a key issue in last year's extensive film and TV strike. The film and TV agreement doesn't outright ban AI, but requires explicit actor consent for how their digital replicas can be used, and requires studios to notify the union if considering using fully synthesized actors, giving the union a chance to bargain for human actors to be cast instead. Another quote, parties acknowledge the importance of human performance in motion pictures and the potential impact on employment, one clause of the agreement states. AI voiceover has already started to appear in major game titles, with free-to-play shooter The Finals seeing criticism for its use of AI voices for its announcers. And that's the article. So yeah, that is essentially the situation. Now, let's continue by taking a look at further reception from voice actors on this news. Go with SAG-AFTRA, they said. They will protect you, they said. They are not in bed with corporations, they said. They have your best interests at heart, they said. And a response to that saying, it used to be my goal to be able to join someday, but now, it's sad when being non-union probably gives you more protection against this than they do now, in my opinion. Real talk, can we just form our own voice actor union? Because this is terrible. Approved by affected members of the union's voiceover performer community, SAG-AFTRA straight up spreading lies. No voice actor would willingly approve this. AI has no place in voiceover or the arts in general. Stop lying, show us the terms, and prepare for another strike. Groundbreaking as in breaks the ground out from under the voice actor? What AI-related stocks are these union heads invested in? We need to clean the frickin' house. I want end today with one last earnest plea. Please, if you are a SAG-AFTRA voice actor in good standing, please sign up and attend these meetings. The links will be below. This is coming off of the contract being voted in after an abysmal turnout rate. Please show up. It's not enough to say it on Twitter. Our union needs to hear it straight from us. SAG-AFTRA voice actors, now's the perfect time to tell leadership exactly why we're upset. There's a town hall meeting tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. PST and another on January 16th. You have sold away human creativity on a level and in a way that has not been seen yet in history. The integrity of the arts is at stake, and you said, money please. You're certainly breaking ground, the foundation you once stood upon. I want to act. I do not want to sell someone my likeness to use and then pay me. It defeats the purpose of art and performance when neither art is created, nor do I perform. Once again, I do not and will never give consent to be used for AI in any way, shape, or form. Other responses to the news includes, you were supposed to be the good guys. What the heck? Another one just basically cussing them out. Devoted SAG-AFTRA strike members watching SAG-AFTRA side with generative AI after months of striking for nothing. The same SAG-AFTRA that went on strike for months to not use AI in film and television? Alright. Those comments were not picked randomly, by the way. Those were some of the most liked responses that popped up first in the replies and quotes. Anyways, I think you get the idea. And you know my opinion on this stuff already, so I'll wrap this one up here. As always, thank you for tuning in, and please consider letting me know what you think about this all in the comments. And please consider also liking and or subscribing for more segments like this every day. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.